In this problem, we're going to find the equation of a line that passes through two given points, and then write that equation in the slope-intercept form. So we know that the slope-intercept form of an equation is going to look like y equals mx plus b, where m equals the slope of the line, and b is the y-intercept. So first we have to determine what information we have that will give us one of these two critical pieces of information to write the equation of this line. Well, since we have 2 points, we can calculate a slope. We know that slope is found y sub 2 subtract y sub 1 divided by x sub 2 subtract x sub 1. So we're finding the difference in the y values as a ratio compared to the difference in the x values. Now remember, whichever point you choose as your x1 is also the y1. So make sure that you're pairing up the coordinates. I like to go x1, y1, x2, y2, so that I don't mess up my order. So that means y sub 2 will be 6, subtract, and y sub 1 is 3. That's my numerator. And the denominator, I go back and look at this ordered pair because it's x2, y2. So that's negative 4, subtract 2. So now simplify our fraction. 6 subtract 3 gives us a 3, and negative 4 plus negative 2 gives us negative 6. And when we simplify this, we have negative 1/2 as our slope. So let's fill in what we have so far. Now we know that the equation of this line is y equals negative 1/2, since that's our slope, times x plus the y-intercept. But we don't have the y-intercept. We need to find the y-intercept. So think about how you can do that. Remember that any point that lies on this line must make this equation true. It doesn't matter which point we decide to use to find our y-intercept. So let's choose our first one here, the point 2, 3. So if that lies on this line, which it does, then that has to make this equation true. So I'm going to substitute. I'm going to use the point 2, 3. That means I have 3 equals negative 1/2 times my x, which is 2, plus b. So now I only have one variable. This is going to allow me to solve for my y-intercept. This gives me 3 equals negative 1/2 times 2 gives me negative 1, and plus my b. Add 1 to both sides, we find that 4 is equal to b. But what if you wanted to do the other point? Well, let's use that one as well to see if we come up with the same value. So now we're going to use x2, y2, and that was negative 4, 6. So we substitute into our equation. So we have 6 equals negative 1/2 times negative 4, and that's what we're looking for, is that y-intercept, the b. 6 equals negative 1/2 times negative 4 gives me a positive 4 over 2. And that simplifies to a positive 2 plus b. And when I subtract 2 from both sides, I find that, again, b is equal to 4. So now what we have found is the complete equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. And that is y equals negative 1/2 x plus our y-intercept is 4. Another method for finding the equation of a line passing through 2 points is the point slope form. And if you know how to use that, you may. I find this to be the most intuitive method. The main thing to remember here unless you are given the y-intercept, you must solve for that. And that's where we came up with our 4, because we used both points and solved for the y-intercept.